Hello, I'm Diana Kokoska, president of MAPS, and I want to take a moment to talk to you about words. Hello, I trust you're learning many things about your mindset as well as strategies for skills that will increase your business. Now, the next portion of your class today is where you will discover the power of words and emotions, your words and your emotions. See, are you the type of person that enjoys people listening to you? Would your business be easier if you knew what to say to influence people? Let me ask you, has there ever been a time in your life when you were on a listing appointment and you couldn't think of what to say? I mean, you gave answers to objections and you thought, I can't believe I just said that. Of course you left without the listing and you beat yourself up all the way home. Now then, of course, there was that time when everything you said was so sweet. I mean, you were great. It didn't matter what the seller said. You had the right words, and then on the way home you were asking yourself, what did I say? I mean, how did I do that? You're feeling pretty smug, and yet you're also wondering, can I do it again the next time? See, the key is to do what works, and keep doing what works, and of course, change what doesn't work. You want to be like one of those great salespeople that can say it great every time. In Bold, you will become aware that being an effective salesperson doesn't require extraordinary effort. The truth is, top salespeople generally don't work any harder than other agents do, nor do they work longer hours. Today, your coach is going to teach you a language pattern from the language of sales, and the more they explain the language pattern, the more it will become obvious that you have been missing this in your sales career. Frankly, no one has ever taught you this before, unless, of course, you've taken the Language of Sales coaching program. Now, before we get started in discussing words that work, let's take a minute and talk about emotions. I mean, have you ever bought a shirt or a blouse where you had to remove all those little crazy pins? Well, if I took one of those pins and threw it at you, even if it hit you, it wouldn't hurt you. Yet, if I took that same pin and taped it to the end of a stick and poked you with it, well, it would hurt. I mean, it could actually be deadly. I want you to liken the pin to your word and the stick to your emotion. See, a word by itself is harmless. A word spoken with much emotion may be harmful. Now, frankly, I don't know how old you are or how young you are. What I do know is whatever your age is, you have been speaking the way you've been speaking for that long. In Bold, you will learn how to use consistent habitual vocabulary to change the quality of your life. Now, you already know that the future belongs to people who see possibilities before they become obvious. Instinctively, you are sensing the possibilities that are within you right now. Possibilities that will manifest themselves for you during Bold and by being bold. This will happen because we work on your mindset as well as teach you powerful words and strategies to increase your sales skills. We will teach you how words affect the brain, your brain as well as your customer's brain, to get you the outcome that you prefer. Each and every one of us describe our experiences with labels called words. That's why each one of us can be in the same room listening and experiencing the same thing and yet describe that experience differently. It's second nature to know we use different words, and those differences of words make a huge difference in the way we feel and that we react. If we take the listing or we don't take the listing, either way it's the words of the emotion that makes the difference. One thing you know, even without thinking, you can change your entire life by changing the habitual vocabulary you use to describe your life. We use words to communicate with others as well as ourselves, and those words are not the experience. They are a label of the experience. When I say the word dog, for example, did you all have the same experience? No. I mean, even if I am specific and say German Shepherd, we still don't have the same experience. So here's my point. Each one of us have a different habitual vocabulary that we use. When we think about words, it is interesting to realize how many words there are in the English language. Now, Compton's Encyclopedia states that there's 500,000 words. We are told we use approximately 2,000 words, and those aren't constant. Most people have the habitual vocabulary of 200 to 300 words. The King James Version of the Bible uses 7,500 different words, and Shakespeare used 24,000 words, 5,000 of them only one time. The English language is twice the size of the nearest competitors, which is German. See, we all have more action words than other languages. We have over 3,000 words that describe emotion alone. Think about this. 1,050 words describe positive emotions, and 2,286 words describe negative emotions. No wonder we are more negative than positive. With all the feeling words, if you wrote down all the feelings you had in a week, 90% of you would only experience a dozen feelings. So how do you describe the real estate market? Do you make excuses and say you aren't doing very well due to the market? I mean, it's bad. Do you say that you're surviving? Do you say it's okay? Do you say it's fantastic? Or do you say, man, I've been praying for this kind of a market for a long time? Habitually, how do you describe yourself? See, when we choose to use language that empowers us, our world changes. Remember, the labels we put on our experience actually become the experience. Our brains go so fast and work at such high speed, we end up using the same words over and over again, and that's why we study the brain, so those words that work automatically come to your brain quickly, and you can answer the objections in a persuasive way and close the deal. So how does this all work? Well, see, our brain, your brain and my brain, analyzes what's going on around us every given minute. It searches for patterns. In fact, by the time you're 20, your brain has had so many exposures, it's on autopilot. You settle into a comfortable pattern, and you rarely deviate from those patterns, meaning 99% of the time when someone is speaking to you, your brain goes on autopilot. Your brain says, hey, been there, done that, and you tune people out, not even responding to what they say because your brain is lumping everything that is being said into categories. And if I've been there, done that, and here's how I reacted before, then, hey, guess what? You're going to react the exact same way. Then there are times people influence you and capture your interest, and you pay attention to what they say. So what does this have to do with language? Well, your bold coach is going to teach you language called embedded commands that will help you influence others so they automatically make the decision to trust you and listen to what you say. Okay, so the last thing I want to remind you of is that the people who spend time together begin to adapt their language to each other. In fact, we found at the Last Bold program that people learn the language patterns faster due to everyone practicing them. So have friends take Bold with you, so you can practice together and condition your brain to automatically know the words to use and the emotion to use them with. And as you already know, all things become easy when practiced. Now, there are over 17 language patterns, and yet in Bold, we are going to focus on only a few. We will help you become proficient at using them, and we will teach you strategies and skills so your clients are more inclined to list with you. And that is what you want, isn't it?